Hello, I'm going to show you how to build a mathematical quiz as an Android app. The quiz consists of 3 mathematical equations and the user is given 10 seconds to solve each one. And each one is worth 100 points. At the end of the third question, the user is shown the amount of points he or she received for the answers out of a total 300 points. Here are the screens. The first one is just the presentation of the quiz. After a user taps on the start button, the second screen comes up and it will last for 10 seconds. The user should select one of the radio buttons for his or her answer to the mathematical equation. After 10 seconds, the app moves to the second equation, and again the user is given 10 seconds and 3 options for the correct one as well. And finally, the app moves to the third and last equation, and after 10 seconds, a message displays the total amount of points. So let's start building our app. Start Android Studio, Project, Empty Activity, Next. Let's call this Math Quiz. Java API 16, finish. Okay, so let's work now on our main activity layout. And before we start to work on it, let's make sure that inside of our drawable folder, we have all the files that we need. All those files, I'm gonna take those files there, the equations, and a little log, I'm gonna copy that. And I'm gonna place that inside our drawable. I'm gonna have here image view, just for a logo. And I'm gonna take here logo. Okay, I'm gonna take the hello world. I'm gonna use as our title here to say that is a mathematical quiz. Mathematical quiz. I'm gonna make that. So let's put the constraint now. And make that text size there about 30 SP. Let's make that bold. And the gravity center. Okay, mathematical quiz. Okay, so now we're gonna put here text here, text view for instructions. Let me put the constraint right away. In the text here, I'm gonna put here 3 equations. Two space there, 10 seconds each. And 100 points each. I'm gonna make that size there also 30 or maybe a little bigger. $36. Okay. And then grab the center. Okay. Also bold, right? Okay. And we're gonna put our button there, right? Give time for the user to read, think about it, and then click on the button to start. And start. Make the button a little more noticeable. 18. And also bold. Okay, so let's put the constraint here. It's already have a constraint to the sides. Adjust the constraint here. Okay, but before we move into the main activity, let's finish up this layout here. The only thing I need here is really the button here. I already typed there. We're going to be called the button start btn. We gave an ID there. Okay, the ID is good. Okay, so let's go back here to the main activity. And the only thing we need to do here is set up, first define the object, define the button object. So you say button, and we call that start obj btn. We cast as button and find view by ID, r.id dot start btn, and we're gonna set up a listener to this button. So we start with the object at the end, set big O on click listener, new capital letter O, that's the one, view. We get everything else code for us, and inside of here the click, the only thing we need to do here is go to the first equation. So let's create that activity or that screen. New, down here, activity, and let's create an empty activity. Let's call that equation 1. Okay, the layout for equation 1 is very simple. We're gonna copy the two objects from the activity main here. Those two on the top there, so it stays the same, the look. All right, move a little bit here. Here, let me come here. All right, good enough. Okay, so this is the object. Next thing we're going to do is put an image view here, where we're going to place our first equation. Take the first equation there, put it there. Let's set up the constraints. A little farther here. A little bigger so the user has a good look at it. Next thing we're going to put here a set of 3 radio buttons with a possible answer to this quiz. Put here a radio group right underneath the equation. Okay. And the image group here, I'm going to put the 3 radio buttons. The first radio button, we're going to show to the user just one of the possible answer, 42. Let's make the text size 24. 24 SP. Okay. Our radio group, the orientation is vertical. Let's make that horizontal. Let's go to orientation here. Horizontal. Let's center it. Let's go to the gravity here. Center. And let's put the padding here. Individual radio buttons. Okay. So let's go to the second radio button. The second radio button, the text is gonna be 70. Text size also 24, right? And the third one, third radio button, 30. Size of 24. Okay. And let's put some paddings here so separate one from the other. Padding right. About 10 dp. The second one 70 also padding right. DP. And the third one also. Okay, right. Put some of the constraint here. Here. Okay, let's make this 32. Okay, so now we have here the first equation. It's done. And now we're gonna do is program this screen. Equation 1. We're gonna declare here some of the objects. Declare objects. The radio group. Let's see what we gave as an ID for the radio group. So equation 1 radio group. Let's go back to the Java there. So we're gonna call that equation 1 obj radio group. Now we're gonna create two integer variables. Total or total points and total one points for equation 1. Into total and total 1. Let's define the object. The radio group. Find the view by ID, r.id dot eq1, that's the one there. Define CountDownTimer. We're going to say here new CountDownTimer. It's in the future we're going to be at 10,000 milliseconds, 10 seconds And here we start at 1000 milliseconds. Let's implement methods both on tick and finish. On tick, we're not going to do anything. We could like show on the screen the countdown, but in our case, just keep going with the count. But then when you finish the 10 seconds, we're going to do what we're supposed to do. We're going to get the value of the select radio button. First get the index, its index. So int radio button index is equal to equation 1 objrg dot get check radio button ID make sure that one of the buttons was checked. If RB index is different from -1, we do that. We're going to do stuff there. Else, total 1 for the first equation, you get 0. You just look at the equation, start thinking about the solution, and all of a sudden you run out of time. The 10 seconds, you're going to get total 1 equals 0. And here the total, that's going to pass to the second equation. The total is equal to total 1. Now, if you click or select one of the radio buttons, right, we're going to first define the selected radio button, the one that you check. So selected objrb is equal to radio button, and you're going to associate that with the radio button index. And the value of the selected radio button. So we're going to be an integer, selected RB is equal to integer dot parseInt, right? You take the button there, selected objrb dot get text to string. And the solution for the first equation is the number 70, right? So if you go here to activity here, to the design, is the second one, right? 70. So if the select radio button is equal to 70, the total 1 for the equation, or the total for the equation 1 is equal to 100. You get it right. Else, total 1 is equal to 0. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the second equation. Go to equation 2. Which I already created this equation 2 Java. And also the activity there, I went ahead and it also is the same as the first one. If you look at here, I just changed the image view here and associate that with the equation tool. And I went the equation tool Java. There's not much there, just we have to work on it. I did the same thing for equation 3, activity 3. If you see the design here, is the same layout as equation 1 and 2, except the equation itself, right? And actually, and this corresponds to equation 3. Right? I put some of the possible solution. Right? There's one there is correct, and that's number 13 in this case here. Equation 3, we still have to work on it. But basically going to be the same as equation 1 with the minor changes. Okay. So go to equation 2. Let's go to equation 2. Say intent. Let's call the intent go equation 2. Go equation 2. New intent. From here, from equation 1, that this, to equation 2, that little c for class. We're going to pass to the second equation the total, right, that we got on equation 1, right? So we're going to go here and we're going to pack the equation 2, that put extra. The key, we're going to call the key total, capital K, key, and we're going to pass the total. And then we're going to start the second or the third screen, start activity, go equation 2. I put the methods here. One thing we forgot we need to do here is start. Start the method. As I said, I already went ahead and I set up the layout for the second equation, right? Quiz 2. And the equation Java we haven't yet worked on. But then it's basically the same. I'm going to take the declaration here. Control copy. I'll put an equation 2 right there. Control V. Control V. Not equation 1 obj. Is equation 2 obj. That's the ID that I assigned for the radio group here. Equation EQ2RG. Right? So EQ2 OBJRG, radio battle selected. This is the one. Actually, we're going to create three integer variables. Total for total points. Total 1 for points received for equation 1. And the points, and we're going to call that total 2. Let me just put that together here, just one variable. And total 2 for points, total 2. For points for equation number 2. So total 1, comma, total 2. Okay, good. Go inside of the onCreate. Let's define the object, right? Define the radio group, object. So we have the equation 2 of OBJRG is equal to radio group. And find the view r.id.equation2rg. This guy. We define the object. Now, define CountDownTimer. CountDownTimer. That's for equation 2. So we're going to say new CountDownTimer. Again, from 10,000 milliseconds to 1,000 milliseconds. We're gonna implement the methods on tick and on finish. Again, the on tick we don't do anything. On finish, yes, we're gonna do stuff on finish. Here we can go ahead and just put here the start here. And on finish, basically the same thing as we did with the equation 1. So let me go and copy and paste this, right? And just do the corresponding change there. Here's this, and then all the way up there. And actually the whole thing, right? Let's go all the way up here. And here is the on finish. Control copy. Let's go to equation 3. And equation 2, né? I haven't finished equation 2 yet. Control V. So here we go. Get the value to select the radial button is from equation 2. Check this, and then make sure that's not -1, right? Select is okay. Here is select obj is fine. Now the answer for the second one should be 18. So if you get the 18 there, the total 2 is 100. Otherwise, total 2 is 0. Here, if you haven't picked any radial button, total 2 is 0. Now, total equal total 1, we haven't got yet what was passing from equation 1 to equation 2. So let's get that. Let's put the comment saying get the value of total from equation 1. So we're going to create the intent first. Intent. We're going to call that intent get equation 1, EQ1. And that's just get intent. Total 1. Remember the total from equation 1? And how to get that? We're going to go get equation 1 dot get extras, get int, and the name of the key, we call that total, capital K. That you got from the first equation. Here, the total is total 1 plus the total for the equation 2. The grand total is total that was passed from equation 1 plus what you got from equation 2. Okay, total 2. You got 0 because you didn't got the correct answer. And here's the else is 0, total 2 is 0, because you didn't pick any radial button. So the time expired and you didn't take any choice there. Right? So total 2 is 0, and the total is there. Now they go to equation 3. That's equation 3. We're going to call the equation, the intent go equation 3. Is from here, from equation 2 to equation 3, which I already created. So go equation 3. We're going to put the total there, that's the grand total, and then go equation 3. The layout is already done for equation 3, right? Even the ID here, I already assigned that, EQ3RG, right? The possible answers here, the correct one would be 13. So let's work on equation 3, which basically is going to be like the equation 2. So I'm going to copy and paste it. Right? Declare object, and here we're going to fix that one thing there. Control copy. We're going to paste that, Control V. We're going to declare equation 3 objrg, that's 1, and then create 3 integer variables. Yeah. Total for total points, total 1, no, we don't need that, it's total 2 for points received from equation 2, and total 3 for points for equation 3, the current equation. Okay, so here we go. And also the same thing, we're going to define the object. Which object? Radio group. Define object. So is that equation 3 objrg is cast as a radio group. Find the view by ID, r.id dot eq3 rg. That's the one. Create a countdown timer. And I'm just going to copy and paste from equation 2. Let's go here, equation 2.java. I'm going to copy this guy here, all the way up to the end here, to start. Control copy, and I'm going to put that equation 3. Control V. So here, of course, this is equation 3, obj. Get the value of total from equation 2. Get equation 2. Get intent, get equation 2. Get action, get int. Total key. This should be total 2. From the second equation. Index here, if this should be 13 here, the correct one is 13. If 13, then total 3 is 100. You get the full credit. Total 3 is 100. And I'm sorry, I didn't change here. Total 3. And also, of course, this would be total 2, right? The total, overall total, grand total, total 2 from the second equation, and total 3 for the current equation. All right, total 2 is there, so total 3 is 100. Else, if you didn't get correct, total 3 is 0. And if you didn't pick any there, total 3 is 0. And the total now is total 2 from the second equation plus total 3 for the current equation. Okay. Now, instead of going to equation 3 or any other, we are already equation 3. We're going to go back to main. Go to main. So we're going to call this guy here main. Go main from equation 3, where we are right now, to the main activity. Main activity, that class. So we don't need to pass anything to the main activity. So I'm going to get rid of that, and here start go main. Okay, before we go to the main, let's display the total, right? Let's use a toast. Toast dot make text. Right here, equation 3. Equation 3 dot this. And I'm going to say total score plus the total should be a variable here, right? Now we're going to run now. And the first test, we're not going to make any choice. Let it run. We should get 0. And we're going to go from one equation to the other after 10 seconds. That's the second equation. That's the third equation. And then after 10 seconds, we get total score 0. And we are back to the main. Let's take another check here. Let's take the first one as a correct one. The second one, a wrong one. It's supposed to be 18. Let's take the minus 9. And the third one, the correct one, 13. So we should get after 10 seconds 200. And it takes back, and next take us back to the main. 200, start main. And the last test